Fox 5's Stephanie Bertini is live outside of UN headquarters with more on what the president had to say in his address. Stephanie.
Bianca, good afternoon. The president wrapped up his address inside UN headquarters not too long ago. He talked about his achievements from a foreign policy standpoint, and he also criticized the United Nations. President Trump arrived here at UN headquarters just before 10 a.m. this morning with the First Lady. During the president's address, leaders from around the world listened at this 80th session of the UN General Assembly. The remarks of the United States are highly anticipated always at this annual high-level gathering. President Trump has moved quickly to diminish U.S. support for the UN during his second term in the Oval Office. After the president's latest inauguration, he issued an executive order to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization. That was followed by his move to end U.S. participation in the UN Human Rights Council and ordering a review of U.S. membership intergovernmental organizations. Just hours ago, the president in his address said words don't solve wars. He also said his administration has had successes in different troubled parts of the world. The president talked about his decision to order the U.S. military to carry out strikes on Iran and more recently against alleged drug smugglers from Venezuela.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential, but it's not even coming close to living up to that potential.
Security around Manhattan heightened right now as the president and the First Lady are here in the city. The First Lady, Melania Trump, she's set to deliver an address this afternoon at a gathering. Now, we always see high security during the United Nations General Assembly, and that's exactly what we've been seeing during this 80th session. Back to you, Bianca.
All right, Stephanie, thanks so much for the update. And the NYPD making some arrests as protesters march outside of the UN ahead of President Trump's speech. Large crowds of demonstrators formed blockades, with some of them sitting down in crosswalks to protest the Trump administration. No word yet on how many people were charged. And for the very latest on everything happening at the United Nations this week, download the Fox Local app. That's where we'll be posting any new developments as they happen. Meanwhile, we're following some breaking news out of the world of sports. Today, the defending WNBA champions, New York Liberty, announced that head coach Sandy Brondello will not return next season. Brondello led the team to its first title in 2024, but this year's squad was hampered by injuries to key players and was bounced from the playoffs in the first round. Brondello is the winningest coach in Liberty history. She racked up 107 victories in 4 seasons in New York, but no word yet on a possible successor. All right, turning now to weather to see what's in store for us this afternoon. Lone Spring meteorologist Audrey Puente is tracking rain on the way. However, I know it's the first full day of fall. However, this feels like we're right in the middle of summer.
Right. A nice feel when we stepped out the door this morning, Bianca. Feeling mild and a bit humid across the tri-state area. Yes, we are officially in the fall season. This is the first full day of it. However, we're kind of taking it back to summer for just a day here. We do have showers and thunderstorms in the forecast for later this afternoon, and we will have temperatures above average, not only for today, but for the next several days, too. We have an unsettled week ahead of us, too. There will be chances of showers, not just for today, but for a few more days. And we're also watching the tropics. We do have a major hurricane out in the Atlantic and 2 other areas of interest, which we'll talk about coming up. 75 degrees right now in Central Park, reporting plenty of sunshine there. We have 79 already out at LaGuardia Airport. There's more cloud cover there, but still very warm and muggy out there. Atlantic City's coming in also at 79, and they're also reporting plenty of sunshine. Not much is happening on the radar across the immediate tri-state area here in the 5 boroughs, most of New Jersey, Long Island. But off to the north here, you can see a couple of showers speckling areas of the Hudson Valley. This is ahead of a frontal boundary that will ignite showers and storms for us later today and tonight. I'll have the details coming up. Bianca?
All right, Audrey, thanks so much. To this now, late-night TV host Jimmy Kimmel will return to the airwaves tonight, but some ABC stations are refusing to broadcast his show. Last week, ABC suspended Kimmel over comments that he made about the death of Charlie Kirk. They said that were insensitive. The indefinite suspension triggered a public outcry amid claims of censorship. But yesterday, ABC said Kimmel's show would return tonight. However, the Nexstar and Sinclair companies, which operate about 1/4 of the network's affiliates, said his program will continue to be preempted on their stations. All right, next at noon, the accused Gilgo Beach killer back in court. The decisions a judge is making ahead of Rex Heuermann's trial and when that trial could begin. Plus, lawyers for Sean Diddy Combs making their case for a shorter prison term ahead of his sentencing day. What we're learning when the noon comes right back.
Arm and a leg, but
All right, some developing news from Long Island, where accused serial killer Rex Heuermann is back before a judge. Fox 9's Jody Goldberg joins us live from Riverhead with more on what happened in court this morning. Jody.
Well, Bianca, we now know a trial may not happen until 2026, the earliest. Heuermann stood inside court, the conference getting underway shortly after 9:30 this morning. The judge essentially saying key DNA evidence will be allowed at a trial. And he also said Heuermann will face one trial for all 7 of the alleged killings. Heuermann, when asked if he understood the ruling, responded by saying, "Yes, I do." It's one of the only times we've heard Heuermann speak. I think it was actually the second time he said anything over a period of 2 years. His voice very quiet. You could take a look at some of these pictures, fresh photos of him inside the courtroom. He's standing beside his attorney, Michael Brown. Like I said, his voice barely above a whisper. It didn't match his large presence. The Massapequa Park architect was arrested in 2023, accused of killing at least 7 women over nearly 3 decades. And for months, the court heard arguments over whether DNA hairs and evidence tying him to the victims could be used in a trial. Today's ruling not only allows it, but the judge also denied the defense's request to split the cases into as many as 5 trials. Prosecutors argued the murder charges are interwoven, meaning the evidence for one crime will help prove the others. They say the planning document found on Heuermann's computer laying out the murders that had happened, were about to happen, and those still planned was key to his decision. Heuermann's ex-wife and daughter were followed by cameras for the continuation of the Peacock documentary on the case. The defense says they'll keep fighting, with more motions expected.
We made a motion. We had faith in our arguments. We think we were right on the law. Ultimately, it's up to the court to make that decision. Judge Mazie didn't agree with us. We move forward.
In the case, We've given well over 100 terabytes of information alone. 1 terabyte is roughly 6.5 million. If you took a terabyte and you printed out all that information, it would take you about 6.5 million pages. So we have well over 120 of those terabytes.
The longer it drags, the longer they have to basically have their lives on hold. They cannot move forward.
Now, prosecutors say they're already planning trial preparations, rather, are already underway. Heuermann's defense team has until January 13th to file more motions. That's the next scheduled conference. As for the prosecutors, they plan on calling on hundreds of witnesses from over 15 states. That's the latest here in Riverhead, Long Island. Jody Goldberg, Bianca, let's send it back to you.
All right, Jody, thanks so much. To this now, Sean Diddy Combs set to be sentenced on October 3rd, and now his lawyers asking for a prison sentence of no more than 14 months. If approved, that would mean Combs goes free almost immediately on time served. Prosecutors are calling for the disgraced music producer to stay locked up longer than the 4 to 5 years they originally sought. Now, Combs was convicted on 2 prostitution-related charges, but in July, that was cleared of the more serious sex trafficking and racketeering charges. And going global in the heart of Manhattan, coming up next at noon, we are previewing this weekend's Global Citizen Festival. And then later, leaf peepers, listen up, why this year's fall foliage season may be shorter than years past.
When the bass hits, if you could just put your hands in the air and go like that.
I love it. Global Citizen Festival is back this weekend. Cardi B headlining with Shakira, plus Tyla and more huge names. It's become one of the biggest movements in the world, mobilizing over $43 billion in commitments to fight for an end to extreme poverty. Joining us now, Global Citizen co-founder Hugh Evans and festival co-host Liza Koshy. Thanks so much for being here, both of you guys.
Thank you, Bianca.
Okay, so obviously we know when this happens every year, it's a massive event, but I want to take it back to where things begun. And that was maybe when you were 14, I think. We might have a photo of you as Hugh Evans, 14-year-old.
Pull it up.
Yes.
Oh, that's rude. That's rude. Take that off the screen.
So Hugh, actually 14 years old, as young as you were, this was a trip for you to Manila that kind of started you on this path to literally change the world.
It changed my life. I was taken onto a slum in the center of Manila and was placed in the care of a kid my own age named Sonny Boy. And that night we lay on this garbage dump, and there were cockroaches crawling all over us and the smell of rubbish all around us. And I just knew that I didn't deserve my lot in life, and Sonny Boy, who became a lifelong friend, didn't deserve his lot in life, and so I committed that night. I wanted to see an end to extreme poverty within our lifetime.
And look at what you've done so far. It's pretty incredible. Liza, we didn't let you off the hook, too, because, you know, we found that photo deep in your Instagram. This young girl, you can just see from this photo.
Manifesting world peace with that peace sign. That's all she wants.
But it's pretty incredible to see your story as well, to go from, like, this young girl in Houston to over 19 million followers on Instagram, starring in movies, covers of Harper's Bazaar, like, and now you're co-hosting one of the most incredible events. Tell us, like, how
I have been working in order to co-host Global Citizen, okay? The whole point is to leave the world a better place than you found it. So I've been given this God-given mic for a reason, and I'm handing it off to the many stories, the day in and day out, grassroots organizers. This is one big night to celebrate that work.
It sure is.
And to celebrate Hugh and what he's brought to the world. Like, it's an honor. It's really an honor.
That's amazing. Hugh, when you talk about some of the names, even some names we saw on the stage as years passed, these are massive, massive names, people with big followings. How important is it to actually get people involved, like Liza, like some of the artists that you have on stage?
Well, Liza, as well as Cardi B, Shakira, Hugh Jackman is hosting, and our ambassadors who've backed our mission since day one have been critical to helping us achieve over close to $50 billion committed for the eradication of extreme poverty. And this year we're fighting ultimately to make sure that 30,000 kids around the world can have access to education, that we can protect 30 million hectares of the Amazon rainforest, and we want to provide 1 million people across Africa with access to clean energy. And so these are our 3 big pillars this year.
We talked about those 3 pillars, Liza. When we look at a younger generation who may be more me-focused than we-focused, how do you use your platform to spread that message of, like, hey, it's beyond me, it's bigger than me?
Yes, I mean, it's incredibly cool and incredibly hot to care, and to care so deeply about the bigger picture, that you're a small puzzle piece in the grand scheme of our lifetimes together, and to make the world better by just offering equal opportunity education, energy access, ending global poverty. To see that in our lifetime is an incredible, massive goal, but to microdose information on the Global Citizen app and help yourself understand what there is to do and what you can do to be a part of it. I know you can feel very overwhelmed by it all, but the app really does break it all down into a simplified format so that you can learn and how you can tap in.
I was going to say, Hugh, if you had one last thing for people watching that want to get involved and love what you do, but are kind of maybe overwhelmed what to do, where do they start?
I would encourage you today, download the Global Citizen app, take one action today, and we're going to give away hundreds of tickets over the next few days for those Cardi B fans, because we just announced her joining the lineup.
Wow.
So,
That's awesome.
Get the app today.
All right.
So go. Global Citizen, go check it out. I'll be doing a Cardi B impression, but you'll also be there. Hundreds of tickets could be yours.
I was going to say, I was going to give you a little practice before you get on stage so you can read the prompter and take it away. Here we go.
Let's turn now to weather to see what's in store for us this afternoon. That wasn't a Cardi B, but go watch.
Audrey Puente, what do you think? Hired? She's hired.
Definitely hired. Definitely hired. Hello. Yes, for sure.
Hello.
Right now, we do have temperatures that are in the 70s. We are expecting pretty beautiful weather to move along towards the Global Citizen concert. It is actually going to be really nice over the weekend across the tri-state area. Right now, temperatures are in the 70s. We're at 76 in Islip, 72 in East Hampton, 76 in Bridgeport. It's 73 in Poughkeepsie. We're a little cooler over towards Monticello. We're seeing more cloud cover to our northwest, and there is also a couple of pop-up showers already. These numbers are definitely warmer than they were at this time yesterday, and our dew points have come up a bit. So when you go outside, you feel it. It's a little bit more humid than it was over the last couple of days. Our winds are relatively light. They'll be breezy at times, but we're really focused on rain showers that are heading in our direction. Right now, we see them firing up north and west of the city, like moving through the Poconos, heading over towards Sullivan County here into Ulster County. Just a couple of spotty showers. Everyone else is seeing a mix of sun and clouds. We're seeing more sun, though, out towards the east end of Long Island, as well as the Jersey Shore. This is the leading edge of a frontal boundary that's going to be hovering over our region, and along it, we'll have impulses rotating through that will help ignite a couple of showers and maybe even a couple of thunderstorms, too, especially by later this evening. evening, roughly around dinner time. Here's the frontal boundary as it sits now. Again, it's going to sag to our south and hover across our region. A couple of areas of low pressure will ride along it, and that's going to keep us unsettled as we go into the next couple of days. So for today, have your umbrella handy this afternoon, looking at a high of 82 degrees. I'll detail out the timing of the showers and talk about the tropics coming up. Bianca?
All right, Audrey, thanks so much. Well, next at noon, a wild pursuit caught all on tape how a driver tried to evade police, crashing through some barriers and then jumping a bridge. See how all of this ended. Also ahead, from a pool of 8,000 down to 110, actually, NASA introduces its newest class of astronauts.
The bridge is up. I'm going to have him stop here. Hold here.
All right, a wild scene in Seattle. A driver taking police on a chase in a stolen car, but this dash cam video shows the driver speeding, breaking through a barrier, and then driving right over a raised bridge. Now the car jumps that gap, goes airborne for a little bit right before landing back on the road and speeding off. Escaping officers, that car was later found abandoned, but the driver did get away. Police are searching for the suspect. An historic first day for NASA's latest crop of astronauts. The agency introduced the group of 10 on Monday. They're a mix of scientists, engineers, and test pilots who were chosen from a pool of over 8,000 applicants. It's the first astronaut class to include more women than men, 6 to be precise. The new astronauts will have to undergo 2 years of training before they're eligible for spaceflight. Their goal is to one day explore the moon and possibly even Mars. All right, well, we were only 2 days into autumn, but you might not want to wait if you're planning to do some good leaf watching. That is because the leaves, they will not stay on the trees as long as they normally do. Experts say the lack of rain in the Northeast will make for a short leaf peeping season. That will dramatically shorten the process of trees changing colors and then even losing their leaves.
We'll probably still have as many sort of reds and yellows, et cetera. But it'll just happen quicker. So if you're looking forward to getting out there and seeing some fall color, plan to do it in the next couple weeks, because with these dry conditions, those leaves will be falling off pretty quickly.
But the leaves are more than just beautiful.
Well, elevation is another factor to consider when planning a leaf peeping excursion. That's because trees in mountainous areas, they change their colors earlier than those closer to sea level. All right, next at noon, we are getting into pumpkin picking season, and this year they're coming in all shapes and colors and sizes thanks to ideal growing conditions. We've got the seasonal outlook if you're headed out to a farm coming up. And then later, the apparel and accessory brand with an important message about overcoming obstacles and making a difference.
We know we can't change everything you don't like about shopping, but here at Stop and Shop, we're going all out to improve what we can.
Thank you.
We've seen you doing finger math in the store, but no more of that. You deserve a better way to save.
Heck yeah, I do.
With over 10,000 items always on sale, it's time we actually loved grocery shopping.
Justin, when was the last time you went on break?
I'm on break right now. With so many ways to save, good things are in store at Stop.
Well, it is 12:30. Welcome back to the noon right now. We've got a whole lot more coming up here, starting with this. The founder of apparel brand State of Gratitude joins us to talk about the important message behind its clothing and accessories. And then some good news. If pumpkin picking is on your activity list, why farmers are telling us this year's crop is actually the best they have seen in years. But let's first get another live look outside on this Tuesday. First full day of fall. However, we're hanging on to summer for as long as we can. And I know Audrey's having a little chuckle over there to herself, but she knows it feels so good out there.
Yes, you want to hold. We're holding the grasp ever so tightly, Bianca. It does feel like summer outside, even though we are in the first full day of the fall season here. Temperatures are looking pretty good and feeling good, too. We're at 75 right now in Central Park. We've hit 80 degrees over towards Newark Liberty Airport at 79 down the shore in Belmar. We have 76 in Islip and 72 in East Hampton. A little cooler off towards Monticello. You're seeing more in the way of cloud cover, and there's been a couple of spotty showers in areas north and west of the city. And that's why we're seeing the temperature change here off to the north and west. Readings are in the 60s, like in the Capital District, over towards Binghamton and Syracuse. To our south, though, we're seeing more in the way of sunshine in Philly. That's why it's closing in on 80 degrees. Same thing down towards Atlantic City. Looking good, too, in New England, where readings are also in the middle to upper 70s. So here's the line of showers and storms. It's now beginning to flare up here across the northeast. It's all associated with a stationary front that's going to linger over the northeast over the next couple of days. There will be areas of low pressure that will ride along it, helping to keep things unsettled unsettled for us as we go through the next couple of days. Right now, it is bringing some strong to severe thunderstorms across the midsection of the nation here, but we're still dry in the tri-state area with just a chance of scattered showers and maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms later this afternoon. But check out what's happening out in the Atlantic here. All eyes are actually on Hurricane Gabrielle, which is a major hurricane out here in the Atlantic. It's actually showing a very oppressive structure here. There's a well-defined eye sitting right there in the middle of it. We're also watching these two areas down towards the Caribbean or closer to the Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center sees a great potential for these to be developing and possibly affecting the islands here and maybe even the southeast coast. At the very minimum, we're already seeing high surf along the eastern seaboard because of Gabrielle. We'll see how that may persist as we go further on into the upcoming week ahead. Looking at the winds right now, 140 miles per hour. That makes it a Category 4 storm. It is moving away from Bermuda. That's good news. But now all eyes are actually over the Azores, which is an island chain just off the coast of Portugal here and Spain. That's actually going to be affected greatly. There's a hurricane watch in effect for the islands currently as Gabrielle makes its way there. All right, closer to home here, we are seeing a mixed sky across the region, more sunshine across the Jersey Shore and also towards the east end of Long Island. But you can see probably around 5, 6 o'clock, we're going to see showers and thunderstorms begin to erupt across the region. So it could be a slick or treacherous commute for some, depending on where you're driving around that time. And then as we go into the dinner time hour, we still have the threat of showers and storms. Here we are at about 10 o'clock. Things start to fizzle out after that, but the front is still hovering across our region. So tomorrow we'll wake up with mostly cloudy skies, and there'll be another threat of a few scattered showers after about, let's say, 1 or 2 o'clock. And that threat will continue right into the evening, especially south of the city where the front will be lying across central and southern New Jersey. We're still unsettled as we go into Thursday here, too. Look at the rainfall we'll be seeing around 8 a.m. on Long Island. We get a break at lunchtime, and then another round comes in towards the afternoon. In fact, I think Thursday will be the wettest day of the next several. We're going to see some intense showers and thunderstorms on that day. In the meantime, it's going to be warm and muggy today, looking at high temperatures in the 80s in many spots, and then tonight we'll drop back into the 60s. We're unsettled for the majority of the upcoming week, but everything clears out just in time for the weekend. Bianca?
All right, sounds good, Audrey. Thanks so much. Well, now that it's officially fall, it might be time to start shopping around for that perfect pumpkin. Fox 5's Jody Goldberg shows us how this year's crop is actually shaping up.
The search is officially on for the perfect pumpkin pick. And on the east end of Long Island, there's no shortage of options.
What do you look for when you're picking a pumpkin? I like a bright, firm pumpkin, I think, nice and bright.
Farmers say this year's crop is the best they've seen in a decade.
They like the dry weather, so they came up pretty good.
At Philip Schmidt and Sons Farm, Matt Schmidt says it's all about timing and weather. A steady spring rain followed by a summer filled with sun created the perfect pumpkin growing conditions.
You want to make sure you have nice stems.
From plump,
just the ones that are brown, make sure there's no dents on them or anything. Clean, nice and orange.
To decorative.
The uglier pumpkin, with the warts and stuff like that, something with a little character.
Farmers are offering dozens of varieties in all shapes, sizes, and shades. Just down the road, Harp's Farm is showing off a new variety, the apple gourd.
It has the same shape as an apple. It turns a bright green color.
And here on the farm, it's not just about orange. There's some yellow in there too. Farmers using mustard crops between pumpkin harvests to keep the soil clean and healthier.
We've started growing a special type of mustard seed that we plant in between the pumpkin crops, and that acts as a biofungicide, and that enhances the amount of surface area between the plant. And then you mix it all up with the soil. That gives it time to do its thing.
And while families may feel inflation at the grocery store, pumpkin prices have stayed steady.
We're the same as we were last year. We go up from time to time to keep up with inflation, but we haven't changed the price this year.
The patch is plentiful. Now farmers say they're counting on sunny weekends to carve out a good season. In Riverhead, Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
Well, Governor Hochul says service is about to speed up for Metro-North riders who use the Hudson Line. She says investments made to improve signaling infrastructure and boost train speeds has been completed ahead of schedule, and it's going to start in just 2 weeks ahead of schedule in 2026. These upgrades include some new diesel-electric trains that are both faster and even greener. Now, Hochul says the Super Express service on the Hudson Line will start October 6th, with trains running from Poughkeepsie to Grand Central in 90 minutes, and then from Beacon to Grand Central in less than an hour and 15 minutes.
For our daily commuters, we're saving 14 minutes off your trip, 70 minutes a week. It's a game changer for people.
Hochul also announced that the MTA will run extra Long Island Railroad service for the prestigious Ryder Cup being held this week at Bethpage State Park in Farmingdale. All right, next at noon, we're highlighting an apparel brand that is all about hope and second chances. Stay tuned.
Gratitude isn't just for the big moments. It's for the daily reminders that ground us. And with this bracelet.
All right, coming up, the inspiring story behind the founding of State of Gratitude.
No matter where I am, it's more than just a bracelet. It's a symbol of life moves fast, but it's these little things that bring you back, like this bracelet.
So true. Now on the noon, we are highlighting the apparel brand State of Gratitude. It was founded on the principles of hope and second chances. The founder of the company is in recovery from addiction, and rather than keeping his journey private, he's using it as fuel to build something bigger than himself. So join us now, State of Gratitude founder Chris Vielk and Carly Pierce, Director of Partnerships. Thank you so much for both being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I love this. I love that when there's always someone's pain turned into purpose, and this is exactly what you're doing. Chris, maybe you start off by saying how you got into this.
So I was living in a sober living in Austin, Texas, and the pandemic had just hit. I had lost my job, and I was trying to figure out, what I could possibly do at that point. We had gotten those $1,200 stimulus checks, and I used to always tell people to live in a state of gratitude, and so one day I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna print this logo on a t-shirt and just see what happens. And I just started reaching out to all my friends and family, telling them what I had done. I was going to allocate a portion of our proceeds to helping people who were new to recovery from alcoholism and substance abuse. And it just kind of took off. Somebody was like, you should make a hat, you should make a tank. Why do you make this? Why do you make that? And we just kind of grew it organically to where we are now. Okay, so what you have here on the table, and maybe Carl, you could talk a bit about this. I mean, you probably can't even tell from the camera, but if you pick up one of these bracelets, I thought they were string, but these are tiny, tiny beads that are made by women. How did you guys partner with this, and tell us about the story?
So These are made by individuals in addiction recovery, and they receive employment and pay through that. So we're helping give back directly.
Yeah.
And then we also do that on our own. So I myself got started when I was newly sober. And I started as part-time, and then it's transitioned into full-time, so it's really cool. And these are 1,000 glass seed beads.
It's very beautiful. When you talk about the fact that you guys are both sober, that journey has, maybe people don't understand how difficult that can be, and maybe how much of a lifeline this is to just pour into others to keep yourself going.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about kind of finding ways to give other people the chance that we, want to create for ourselves as well.
Sure. And then what's some of the feedback that you've gotten from people that when you share this message, you show them some of the stuff? I mean, because you've brought a lot of stuff here. We got sweatshirts, we got T-shirts, we got beanies and really cute bags. Obviously they look good, but the message behind it is...
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a constant reminder. And when people see it, it's probably one of the most complimented shirts that I'll always tell people, if you wear this shirt, everyone's always going to tell you, hey, I love what that says.
Yeah.
And then we get emails all the time, messages on Instagram, Facebook, just people following our story. People will come down and visit us for when we do the holiday markets in Bryant Park.
Yeah.
They'll come and they'll see us there and they'll talk about how impactful
That's awesome.
the brand has been for them.
Okay, so where can people find some of this? Obviously, I know there's a website, but is there any physical locations here in New York where people can get some of the stuff?
So we're going to be in the holiday markets in Bryant Park, Union Square.
Yeah.
Both of those this holiday season. We do pop in and out of Chelsea Market from time to time in the month of October. Otherwise, you can always find us online at stateofgratitude.com.
Okay, so if you're in charge of partnerships, is there anyone that you would love to partner with in the future? We're thinking big here.
Oh, thinking big. I mean, we would love to. So these are kind of athletic. They're good for working out. So, I mean, something like Nike, Adidas. So that would be awesome. That's really far out in advance, but we are doing really well. So we know it's possible.
Hey, if you guys can do what you've done, then I'm going to say it's possible. Awesome. That is for sure. Well, thank you so much for both being here. Website real fast where people can find your stuff.
Yes, stateofgratitude.com.
Chris and Carly, thank you so much for being here and for showing us some of this lovely stuff and for sharing your guys' story. You never know who that's going to help, who's watching.
Thank you. Thank you, Bianca.
All right, we're going to have more noon straight ahead. Stay with us. Talking about breaking a world record one bite at a time. We're taking you down to a giant pizza party in Newark aimed at giving back to the Brick City and giving it bragging rights. We'll see if they did it.
Fox.
Well, a team of ambitious New Jersey teens, they tried to break a world record on Monday for hosting the biggest pizza party ever. It's an effort to steal the title from New Haven, Connecticut. Fox 6's Kendall Green brings us the results.
It's too frustrating. We can't move around. It's inch by inch, but going nowhere. Been here already for 20 minutes and I have probably a block.
Are you frustrated?
No, we are used to for that. It's every year same like this.
It just took us 20 minutes just to come back around the block because we made a wrong turn. So we're a little frustrated.
So the wrong turn cost you how much?
Yeah, about
30 minutes of our time.
Right, 15.
And my daughter.
Okay, well, that was a different story, but we're going to be back with some of those results, and we got more news straight ahead. Stay with us. Well, after decades of thrilling roles on screen, Scarlett Johansson is taking her talent behind the camera in a new film that may look familiar to New Yorkers. Good Day's Ryan Christopher sat down with her to talk about her directorial debut for Eleanor the Great.
I'm moving to Manhattan for the first time today.
I live in Staten.
My condolences.
First of all, June and Scarlett, congratulations on Eleanor the Great. I loved it. I have to say I cried, I think, way too much watching this movie. It was so touching. But this is your directorial debut, Scarlett. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, June, how did she do?
She did beautifully. No, she really did. She was the leader of us at all times, and she allowed us space to, do our own things. And I loved that she knew what I was doing. I mean, I didn't have to say, just a minute, let me do it again or something. She knew immediately where I was and what I needed and where I was going.
Yeah, I'm actually profiling a Holocaust survivor.
So tell me about your mother.
And how about for you, Scarlett? This has to be such a special milestone in your career. You've done so much on screen, but now to be sort of behind the camera directing. What does this all mean to you?
Honestly, I feel so fortunate that I was given the opportunity to direct this film particularly. It was, it's no easy task to get films like this made, and so the fact that we had June to hang our hat on was very helpful, and it was really A pleasure. I loved shooting in New York with our New York-based crew, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was exciting. It was meaningful, and you know, I really, you know, the fact that New York is such a character in this film is also very meaningful to me.
And Scarlett, did you cry the first time you read it?
I did cry the first time that I read it, which never happens. And then my associate Keenan Flynn, who produced the film with me, I sent him. I was like, "Oh my gosh, this script made me cry," and he sent back the little crying emoji. He was like, "Me too." I was like, "Well, that's notable. You know, it's so extraordinary, actually."
Sure.
Definitely knew there was something there that was worth pursuing.
Yeah, and the film centers around grief by having somebody there, or maybe somebody unexpected to help you through that time. Has there been somebody in your lives that have helped you through a difficult time when you least expected it, or when you really needed it most?
Yeah, I mean, certainly my husband Colin is an amazing partner in that way. He's always so empathetic and understanding, and I think, you know, one of the qualities that I really appreciate about him, particularly in those difficult moments, is that he's such a wonderful listener. You know, he doesn't try to immediately fix the problem. He actually is just, you know, committed to listening to me sort of just process it, you know, myself, and that I think that's really helpful.
And how about for you, June?
Yes, I have a son who's in his 50s now, and he's kind of great. I mean, he doesn't always say much to me, but, you know, I could sit and talk to him and know that someone's listening. Yeah. And he always opinions. I mean, he always, you know, tells me what he thinks.
Yeah. You just mentioned your husband. I just have to show you a little something, because we work at Channel 5 here in New York City. They used to have in our studio celebrities, when they would come in, they would sign the walls, right? The only signature that is left
is Colin.
Is Colin
that
Joseph.
Is so weird.
On the on-air side. How does this guy get special privileges? What's going on?
You know, it looks like he signed in a place he knew could not be erased.
He's a trickster. He's a trickster.
And he's on air.
And he's on air, baby. He's doing big things. And one other interesting thing that I did notice about this cast, so you have Chiwetel, he's been in Doctor Strange. Aaron has been in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And of course, you're sitting next to the Black Widow.
Yes,
so
I know that.
Do you think that we'll ever see June in a Marvel film?
Oh yeah, you would be a great supervillain.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I think so. I think that you could probably be a master of the universe.
I think I could easily.
We call her the master of the universe.
Yeah, right. She already is the master of the universe. Come on now.
A lot of people do.
Ryan Christopher, Fox 5 News.
Pretty incredible interview there. All right, stay with us. More noon straight ahead.
reach.
All right, back now to that story about an effort to break a pizza eating record in Newark. Here is Fox 5's Kendall Green with more.
Regardless of which slice,
cheese pizza, pineapple pizza.
These kids, thousands of them, and their parents' goal was to break a Guinness World Record for the largest pizza party in the world.
She's a part of the Boys and Girls Club, and instead of me bringing her with the school, I wanted to be able to experience the moment with her.
The Boys and Girls Club of Newark set out to break the current world record set in New Haven, Connecticut, earlier this month, 4,525 strong.
We get a chance to break a record here. You got mass participation in this place, more incredible than I even imagined. So it's a great environment, and people are having a good time eating good Papa John's pizza.
I think it's interesting, exciting to get everybody in one place, to have one slice of pizza at the same time. So I think it's actually pretty awesome.
Amir Washington's the CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Newark.
We want to do this because what's really important is our young people learning about leadership, about business. And so we partner with Disrupt Schools, who's a local Papa John's franchiser, to teach our kids how to put a business plan together. And this is how we decided to put that into play.
They partnered with several other community groups in their attempt to make it all happen.
It's very rare where you can see everyone come together to achieve something this big, right? And this is huge. This is absolutely huge.
Well, in case you're wondering if it happened.
But unfortunately, we didn't beat the record tonight. But did we have the best party ever? Did y'all have a good time?
But they had a great time trying.
We were close, but we didn't finish. So we know what to do next time if they do it again.
Kendall Green, Fox 5 News.
If they do it again, guess got to eat more pizza. All right, well, that is our show. But before we go, here's one last thing to leave you with. 2 Florida sheriff's deputies took matters into their own hands to bring a roaming alligator into custody. Some video right here shows a pair of Lake County deputies going after this gator found roaming around a woman's front porch. But when the deputies approached, this gator took off, leading deputies on a slow speed chase through the backyard. One deputy eventually wrangled and then jumped on the bandit and captured it. The deputies were then placed the gator in the back seat of their cruiser. The gator was then taken to a new location and released. All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. 25 Words or Less is next. If you want more news, tune into the Fox Local app, which is streaming right now.
And welcome to Newsroom Live, everybody. Antoine Lewis, very happy to be with you from the Fox 5 Newsroom right here on the Upper East Side of Manhattan in New York City. Let's take a live look outside at this pretty, very beautiful day. You see traffic is moving along there. Look how still the water is. Audrey Pointe will be joining us in just a minute to talk a little bit more about the forecast. But of course, the first thing we want to do is cover top stories. And developing right now, the president was speaking, addressing the United Nations General Assembly this morning. Stephanie Bertini will join us now. She's been live all morning long outside of the UN. We want to bring Stephanie into the conversation now to tell us a little bit more about the president's speech and what he had to say. Hey, Steph.
Hey. Hi, Antoine. Good afternoon. Yes, a beautiful day and very busy here, especially in Midtown Manhattan, as the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly is underway. The president gave his address inside UN headquarters this morning. He arrived before 10 a.m. with the First Lady, and he spoke to world leaders inside UN headquarters. Now, the president had several things to say. He talked about his successes when it comes to foreign policy and to things achieved as the United States overall. He also criticized, and this is something we've heard before, the United Nations. President Trump has moved quickly to diminish U.S. support for the UN during his second term in the Oval Office. After the president's latest inauguration, he issued an executive order to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization. That was followed by his move to end U.S. participation in the UN Human Rights Council, and also by ordering a review of U.S. membership in intergovernmental organizations. Bottom line, the president wants to make sure that the United States, as he puts it, and I'm paraphrasing here, is positioned properly when it comes to the UN. Now, it was just hours ago that the president said, and this is in his words, he said, words don't solve wars. He also said that his administration has had successes in different troubled parts of the world. He talked about his decision to order the U.S. military to carry out strikes on Iran, and more recently against alleged drug smugglers from Venezuela. Here's a piece of what he said about the United Nations inside UN headquarters.
What is the purpose of the United Nations? The UN has such tremendous potential. I've always said it. It has such tremendous, tremendous potential. But it's not even coming close to living up to that potential.
Antoine, we're trying to get to that audio there. If we do have that, I guess that we can roll it. But back out here live, you see a lot of security if we can get here to the live shot. So this is where the media is staged, right by UN headquarters. But security especially intense right now because the president and the First Lady are here in Manhattan. At 2 o'clock, the First Lady Melania Trump, is set to give an address. So we will be watching and waiting for what comes out of that. That's at an event as the General Assembly is underway here, this 80th session underway here in New York City. Antoine.
Stephanie, we did have the audio. Thank you very much for that. And
okay.
We know you got to get ready for the 2 o'clock, so we'll catch you again at 4 o'clock. Stay safe, you and the crew out there.
Thanks, Antoine.
All right. Now, of course, with the president's visit, you know, there can be protests, and that's exactly what happened. Let's show you that video. The NYPD did make some arrests outside of the UN as protesters marched. There you can see the video right there. Ahead of the president's speech, large crowds of demonstrators, they actually formed blockades, as you can see right there. Some of them sitting down in the crosswalks to protest the Trump administration and the policies that are being there. Now, this is commonplace. Whoever's in office, you can expect these sorts of things, particularly when they make their way to New York City to do for the UN's address. So no word yet on how many people were arrested in that, but this is also a part of what's going on out there where Stephanie and our crew is. All right, a little breaking news coming our way today. Check this out. Federal agents say they recovered several devices that could have disabled cell towers and essentially shut down the cellular network in New York City. This is what we know. Inside several locations, agents found thousands of networked cellular devices that were within 35 miles of the UN General Assembly. Officials say the systems allowed anonymous encrypted communications between criminal and foreign actors. This is a very big deal and could have caused a massive disruption to government and emergency communications. Now, the special agent in charge of the Secret Service New York field office gave a briefing earlier today. Take a listen to what he had to say.
This network had the potential to disable cell phone towers and essentially shut down the cellular network in New York City. These devices were concentrated within 35 miles of the global meeting of the United Nations General Assembly, now underway in New York City. Given the timing, location, and proximity, and potential for significant disruptions to the New York telecom system, we moved quickly to disrupt this network.
So how did all of this start? Well, according to the Secret Service, the investigation began in the spring after they received imminent telecommunications threats that were directed at senior U.S. officials, and they had help from federal, state, and local partners. The networks were traced to the tri-state area. So right now, a forensic examination of the data, which is actually the equivalent of 100,000 cell phones, is underway, with early analysis showing links between foreign networks and individuals already known to law enforcement. That actually is the story that I'm working on today. So again, this information coming in to the newsroom earlier this morning was breaking news. So we'll have the very latest on Newsroom Live coming up at 4 o'clock. Okay, my producer Brianna is next to me. We're going to give you another live look outside, because coming up right after our break, meteorologist Audrey Pointe is going to be telling us what we can look for weather-wise as we enjoy this. I want to say picture perfect, but she's the expert. We'll let her deal with that. More Newsroom Live when we return. All right, as we are looking at the GWB, traffic is moving along, and we're also going to take a look at the sky, because Audrey is with us, as promised, to talk a little bit about the forecast. Good to see you always.
Good to see you too. You know, we're on our first full day of the fall season. However, it feels more like summer outside.
It does warm. It was warm.
Yes, it's quite mild. We are seeing temperatures that are mostly like in the 70s to near 80. It's also feeling a touch more humid too. Did you feel that when you went outdoors today?
Yeah, there was sweat on my head, yes, ma'am.
Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, yes. So we have a little bit more humidity today. We're definitely milder. We're looking at high temperatures near 80 degrees across parts of the area. There'll also be a threat of showers and, yes, some thunderstorms too. In fact, this is the start of an unsettled weather pattern that's going to be with us for much of the upcoming week here. You can see here on this 7-day that we are going to have chances of rainfall over the next few days. And temperatures will be pretty mild. We're going to be above average, it looks like, for much of this upcoming week. And feeling like summer today and tomorrow. But
Yeah.
look at the weekend, though, Antoine.
It looks like it was clear.
Yes.
Very
Rain
clear.
should clear up by the weekend for sure. But right now, we're pretty mild and muggy. We're already at 83 at Newark. It's 81 in Belmar. 70s out towards the east end of Long Island. We're seeing more in the way of sunshine across the Hamptons, the Jersey Shore. It's really off to the north and west where we're seeing more in the way of cloud cover. And also a couple of isolated spotty showers already found in parts of the Hudson Valley. Our dew points, which is a measure of moisture in the atmosphere, that's these numbers when they're in the 60s like this is telling us it feels just a touch more humid. Typically in the summer we see these soar through the upper 60s,
Right.
low 70s. But you can feel the difference today compared to the last several. I mean, we have refreshingly dry air in place for the last several weeks across the tri-state area.
I always ask you about this because you always talk about the rainfall totals, you know, so knowing we have rain now, are we above average, below?
We are way below normal. We are about, I think it's about almost 6.5 inches below normal for the year in Central Park. So we really need some rainfall. On the radar, you can see this kind of line developing to our northwest. So spotty showers. There's a couple of thunderstorms here. More activity is actually happening well off to our west, but this is part of a stationary front that's going to linger over the northeast over the next several days, and that's why we're going to have this unsettled weather pattern. Now we're on the southern side of the front. That's the warmer side, which is why we have temperatures that are quite mild and it's a little bit more humid. A look at the futurecast, you can see a couple of the rounds of showers coming in. What happens is that stationary front is going to kind of sit over us, and we're going to have impulses kind of rolling along it, and that's going to help ignite a lot of the showers you'll see, and also some thunderstorms. Oh, gotta talk about this. Gotta talk about this. Yes.
That's a hurricane, right?
Yes, that's Hurricane Gabrielle. It actually intensified to a Category 4 storm yesterday. And these are two other areas here that the National Hurricane Center is also keeping an eye on, because both of these are expected to further develop, and we'll have to see how they may affect parts of the Caribbean and even the southeastern states. By the way, we also have a very high risk of rip currents along our coastline, and that's because of Gabrielle churning up the ocean waters. Now, it's not going to head towards the U.S. It's actually going to take a sharp right turn and head towards the Azores. That's a small island chain just west of Spain and Portugal. And there's a hurricane watch actually in effect now for that part of the Atlantic. So it's kind of interesting to watch in the weather world.
You know what? People always forget, Audrey, that, you know what, it's in the Atlantic. So it's not just the United States or North America that's potentially impacted.
Correct. Yes, because a lot of the remnants of these storms will head all the way out to Europe. In fact, last year I was in Porto, which is where
Portugal.
Yes, northern part of Portugal. It's on Bravo, which is also where Gabrielle is headed. Porto's actually on the path here.
Right.
And we had remnants of the tropical system that was here when I was over in Portugal.
Yes.
So I was like, wait a minute, I was just covering this in the U.S. and now I'm here and now the remnants are here. It was pretty funny.
So she's a world traveler, clearly, you know.
I like to get my passport stamped.
With that, you know, as we look at the temps, you know, we're moving into the time of year. We're about to, after we say goodbye to you, we have a story on fall foliage and pumpkin picking. So is this weekend like ideal or is it too early? I mean, you're a mom, you know.
I think it actually is ideal, yes, because people think more October-ish.
Right.
It's actually September when you want to go apple picking. That's really the prime time to actually go apple picking, and I think pumpkin picking as well if they have them out. I know it may be a little early for Halloween. However, right now is the prime time, and the weather's going to be really good this weekend. So go upstate. Now you won't see like leaf colors changing that much just yet, if at all. You probably see a couple of spots here and there.
Still
so
too warm, right?
Right. Well, that and early in the season. So
Okay.
I think a lot of folks like to wait until October because you'll see more color, and that's when they think they should go pumpkin picking. But ideally, now definitely apple picking. September's the month.
We have a question from the comments.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know we had comments.
Yeah, we're like full service here. We have Brianna. We have a question. Let's share.
What is the process for naming a hurricane?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Who was that?
Just a YouTuber.
A YouTuber. Thank you. Okay, I love YouTube. So the process of naming a hurricane, the World Meteorological Organization, known as the WMO, they actually established the names, I think it's 6 or 7 years in advance. So you can go ahead now and see 5 years from now what is going to be the list of hurricane names. So that's how we get the names. They've already been voted on by this committee, which is the World Meteorological Organization. And so we get the list issued at the beginning of the year. And we're told what the names are. I don't get to pick them.
I didn't know it was that far in advance, though. I knew about, you know, the organization that did that, but I didn't know it was that far in advance.
Now I don't know what the voting process is actually.
That's
that would
pretty good.
I would like to be in on that meeting just to see how it goes.
We're both A's. They never have an Antoine, a Hurricane Antoine, you know.
I haven't seen Antoine, but Audrey was retired. Because it was a huge hurricane back in the day, so it's already been retired. So you won't see an Audrey except for me.
All right, we'll take that. You know, so all right, so umbrellas, hand handy, keep them handy for the next few days.
I have my umbrella today, so if I have my umbrella, you should have your umbrella. But I plan to be out and about around the dinner time hour, which is when I expect rainfall to actually come into the city, and it'll last probably until about 10 o'clock tonight. Then we'll get a little bit of a lull, but you'll need your umbrella for the next couple of days.
All right. Always good to see you.
You too.
All right. Stay right there, everybody. We're going to talk more news, and again, the promised pumpkin picking in Fort. All right, everybody, welcome back to Newsroom Live. Antoine Lewis, very happy to be with you on this Tuesday. We just talked with Audrey Pointe about the weather, about when's a good time to go pumpkin picking and apple picking. Well, Jody Goldberg actually explored things on Long Island. Let's see what she found out.
The search is officially on for the perfect pumpkin pick. And on the east end of Long Island, there's no shortage of options.
What do you look for when you're picking a pumpkin? I like a bright, firm pumpkin, I think, nice and bright.
Farmers say this year's crop is the best they've seen in a decade.
They like the dry weather, so they came up pretty good.
At Philip Schmidt & Sons Farm, Matt Schmidt says it's all about timing and weather. A steady spring rain followed by a summer filled with sun created the perfect pumpkin growing conditions.
You want to make sure you have nice stems.
From plump,
Just the ones that are brown, make sure there's no dents on them or anything. Clean, nice and orange.
to decorative.
The uglier pumpkin, with the warts and stuff like that, something with a little character.
Farmers are offering dozens of varieties in all shapes, sizes, and shades. Just down the road, Harp's Farm is showing off a new variety, the apple gourd.
It has the same shape as an apple. It turns a bright green color.
And here on the farm, it's not just about orange. There's some yellow in there too. Farmers using mustard crops between pumpkin harvests to keep the soil clean and healthier.
We've started growing a special type of mustard seed that we plant in between the pumpkin crops, and that acts as a biofungicide, and that enhances the amount of surface area between the plant. And then you mix it all up with the soil. That gives it time to do its thing.
And while families may feel inflation at the grocery store, pumpkin prices have stayed steady.
We're the same as we were last year. We go up from time to time to keep up with inflation, but we haven't changed the price this year.
The patch is plentiful. Now farmers say they're counting on sunny weekends to carve out a good season. In Riverhead, Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
All right, Jody wearing orange to match those pumpkins. So anyway, quickly, we also talked about leaf picking. We also want to discuss that with you today on this Tuesday, because we're only 2 days, well, this is our first full day into autumn, but if you're planning to go leaf watching, then here's some of the things we want to let you know about as we show you the video. If you're planning to do that, do it quickly because the leaves won't stay on the trees as we understand it as they normally do, as long as they normally do. Experts say the lack of rain in the Northeast will make for a short leaf peeping season. It'll dramatically shorten the process of trees changing colors and losing their leaves. And as Audrey was just telling us in our earlier segment, you know, this is certainly something to take into consideration. You know, most people try to wait a little bit further in, but given the climates and how things have impacted us this year, it looks like it may be a shorter time to catch them while they're on before they again begin to fall. All right, more news, more headlines when Newsroom Live returns, including a story out of Newark about an effort to have the largest pizza party recognized by Guinness. All right, welcome back. Other news making headlines right now. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel is set to return to the airwaves tonight, but some ABC stations are refusing to broadcast his show. Now, here's what happened. You may recall last week ABC suspended Kimmel over comments that he made about the death of Charlie Kirk that they felt were insensitive. Now, the indefinite suspension triggered a public outcry amidst claims of censorship. Yesterday, ABC said the Kimmel Show would return tonight. However, the Nexstar and Sinclair companies, which operate about 1/4 of the network's affiliates, said that his program will continue to be preempted on their stations. So that's the update on that one there. We're also following breaking news from the world of sports. Believe it or not, today the defending WNBA champions, the New York Liberty, have announced that their head coach was going to be not returning next season. So Sandy Brondello, that's whom you see right there, she led the team to its first title last year, 2024. Well, this year's squad was hampered by injuries to key players and was bounced from the playoffs in the first round. Brondello was the winningest coach in Liberty history. She actually racked up 107 victories in 4 seasons in New York. No word yet on a possible successor. So look, now that we are able to engage with you on our comment platform, let me know what you think about that. There was some discussion on the reporter side about maybe this was like, have a little bit more faith. You know, sometimes coaches, you know, have winning seasons. Clearly they don't. She's been with them 4 years.
Someone
you know.
says this is too soon, too sudden.
This is too sudden.
Yeah.
Brianna, my producer, says we actually have one. Who, you got the name on that one, Bree?
Favor.
Okay, Favor Marcelli, thank you for your comment. And the comment was that this is too soon. A lot of us had discussions about that. It seemed a little swift. You know, if they're doing bad, if Breonna Stewart, Stewie as we all know and love her and call her here, is injured, you know, and they get bounced, then you know what? Look at Eric Spoelstra with the Miami Heat. You know, he's been with them for a while. Greg Popovich, you know, before he retired, you know, you have good seasons, bad seasons. A lot of people are weighing in on whether or not this was just too sudden of a move. So if you have another comment, well, again, we thank you, sir, for that one, then just let us know. Now, This is interesting. A group of teens in Newark actually set out to try to get into the Guinness World Records, and by doing so, they were trying to have the largest pizza party ever. Kendall Green has this story.
Which slice?
Cheese pizza. Pineapple pizza.
These kids, thousands of them, and their parents' goal was to break a Guinness World Record for the largest pizza party in the world.
She's a part of the Boys and Girls Club, and instead of me bringing her with the school, I wanted to be able to experience the moment with her.
The Boys and Girls Club of Newark set out to break the current world record set in New Haven, Connecticut earlier this month, 4,525 strong.
We get a chance to break a record here. You got mass participation in this place, more incredible than I even imagined. So it's a great environment, and people are having a good time eating good Papa John's pizza.
I think it's interesting, exciting to get everybody in one place, to have one slice of pizza at the same time. So I think it's actually pretty awesome.
Amir Washington's the CEO of Boys and Girls Club of Newark.
Well, we want to do this because what's really important is our young people learning about leadership, about business. And so we partner with Disrupt Foods, who's a local Papa John's franchiser, to teach our kids how to put a business plan together. And this is how we've decided to put that into play.
They partnered with several other community groups in their attempt to make it all happen.
It's very rare where you can see everyone come together to achieve something this big, right? And this is huge. This is absolutely huge.
Well, in case you're wondering if it happened.
But unfortunately, we didn't beat the record tonight. But did we have the best party ever? Did y'all have a good time?
But they had a great time trying.
We were close, but we didn't finish. So we know what to do next time if they do it again.
Kendall Green, Fox 5 News.
All right, everyone always has a comment on their favorite pizza place. So you let me know, where you get your pizza and what you do. That we just want to recap really quickly for you our top story. Again, a major bust by the Secret Service. Federal agents recovering disabled devices that they said could have essentially shut down the cellular network in New York City. It was within a 35-mile radius of the General Assembly at the UN, which is underway right now. And the system apparently would have allowed anonymous encrypted communications between criminal and foreign actors, and could have caused massive disruption to government and emergency communications. And again, this is a very big deal. Apparently the investigation began back this spring, and it's the Secret Service saying they dismantled a massive hidden telecom network near the UN that could have crippled cell service here in the city, and investigators are racing to find out who built it and why. So that's again our top story. Okay, as you come back to us live, we understand that we're going to have the threat of rain, possibly some severe weather, very slight chances of that somewhere scattered out throughout the tri-state. So if you're going to be moving around this evening, and at least for the next few days, and you want to keep the umbrella handy, but of course stay with us because we'll keep you covered on everything regarding the weather, as well as news headlines and everything that you need to know to govern yourselves accordingly. So I asked you also, let's check. We have any comments, Bree? No, nothing yet. All right. Again, let me know about your favorite pizza places if you want to weigh in. Also on the Liberty coach, Coach Brundello, being let go. Let me know what you think about that, because again, we were discussing that over in the newsroom ourselves. So, all right, we're almost out of time. I'm Antoine Lewis. Happy to be with you on Newsroom Live.
Thanks for watching Fox 5 New York. We're now joining live now from Fox.
Please.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. First of all, thank you for this meeting. Thank you for your personal efforts to stop this war just now, Mr. President. And I'm happy to say that just now our first ladies of Ukraine, first ladies of the United States,
yes,
just now we'll have a meeting about Ukrainian children. Thank you for Melania's personal involvement to this topic. And this is very important. I will brief Mr. President and his team what's going on the battlefield. We have good news. Of course, we want to stop the war, and with your help, first of all. And it's good that our soldiers occupied 360 kilometers this month. And of course, we will speak about how to finish the war and about security guarantees. A lot of what to discuss. Thank you.
Would you like to say how you are doing on the battlefield?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So thanks to our soldiers and to possibility to furl the program when NATO countries, by the way, thanks to your support, they can buy weapons from the United States. So our soldiers these months, they occupied 360 kilometers, and they encircled 1,000 soldiers. And of course we want to exchange, because we need our soldiers in any case. But thanks to our soldiers, we have this possibility, this opportunity to continue until Russia will stop this war, and I hope that they will stop. In any case, we know that the economy of Russia is with this war. We need more pressure and more sanctions, and I hope with United States first of all and Europe, but we support, Mr. President, your idea, and I want to discuss it, how to stop some countries from Europe, how to stop the possibility to buy Russian oil and gas. Yes, I had conversation, by the way, with President of Slovakia, Prime Minister of Slovakia. We had a conversation. I think that they need some alternative ways, and they will support this idea. I'm not sure that Hungarians are ready, but everything is in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Mr. President, do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
Mr. President, any update on your talks with President Putin, and do you still trust him?
I'll let you know in about a month from now, okay?
President Trump, your message
are you willing to provide Ukraine with the security guarantees the same way as European allies?
Well, that's later down the road. We'll be talking about that. Hopefully, we'll be in a position to talk about that a little bit later on. It's a little bit too early to answer that question.
Mr. Putin is not
go ahead,
to meet
please.
with both of you.
President Trump, your message to President Orban, who's refusing to stop buying Russian oil.
Well, he's a friend of mine. I have not spoken to him, but I have a feeling if I did, he might stop, and I think I'll be doing that.
What progress do you think has been made on ending Russia's war against Ukraine since the last time you saw President Zelensky?
Well, the biggest progress is that the Russian economy is terrible right now. It's, as you know, it's crashing. And that, frankly, Ukraine is doing a very good job of stopping this very large army. It's pretty amazing. You know, this is a war that should have ended in 3 days, 4 days. People said it was going to be very quick, and you got to hand it to the Ukrainian soldiers and everybody involved. It's still going on.